Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Earth Wizards group. And today we have an animal show and tell. My name is Suzy Godsey, and this is Charlie. And he has my last name just backwards. So, Yesdog is his name. And I have done quite a few Facebook Lives with him over the years, but recently I haven't really done a whole lot. I'm not sure why, but it's just been one of these things where I hadn't really been, I don't know, inclined to do it, I guess. Let me fix the camera so you can see him better. So anyway, so yesterday he said to me that he wanted to talk about death. And I was like, oh, great. Really? We're doing a Facebook Live on death? Okay, fine. So, Charlie, so these are always a bit unpredictable because I pretty much just tune into him. Oh, now you can't see me. Okay, cool. So I tune into him and I see what it is that he would like to talk about and basically just be with him in that. So so Charlie, death. Okay, cool. So what about death? He says it's too significant. Okay, cool. What do you mean by that? So basically, he's giving me an energy of, animals really have, or he has a different way of looking at all of that. It's almost like he is more willing to have a continuum rather than looking at it as the end all. Whereas as people, we look at it, well, this is the end, here it finishes, that's it, we don't have any more. And to him, it's like, well, that doesn't have to be that way. And so, what does it actually mean to die? And he says, well, it's one way to get a new body. So, one of the things that we talk about in Access Consciousness, and this is actually something I really had to listen to Gary Douglas quite a lot about because I've always been an animal lover my whole life, and boy did I have lots of points of views about animals dying, animals in general, like saving them, making sure they are okay, and all of that kind of stuff. And so there has been a lot for me to learn in the last few years and to become aware of. And when Gary Douglas was talking about this a long time ago for the first time for me, I was like, well, I didn't really believe that until I started to really trust my awareness with the animals in a different way. And I recognized that he was actually correct. And this is one of those things. So basically, what it is there are, a being. So you have a being and a body. And the being occupies the body, and the being basically has fun with the body, and the body is a different entity. And so when we connect with our animals, we actually connect to the being. So we have this connection with them that we have really on a psychic level with each other, which is not really based on the bodies. Yes, the bodies have a connection too. I can touch him. He likes to be petted. He likes to be scratched. Of course, all of those things. They are the physical stuff, and that's about the body. And the body, of course, is also the one that's eating and all of that. But the body is also the one that's dying. The being actually never dies. So the being can choose another body. The being can choose pretty much anything. And so the being can always also come back. And some of you may have noticed that even if you don't totally believe in all this, and you don't have to, but I know some of you might have actually noticed that you've had an animal come back to you. You've had an animal that was just like an animal you had before, or you recognized them in a way you were like, wait a minute, this is weird, but this dog is acting just like my dog I had 10 years ago, or whatever it might be. So have you actually ever considered that this might be true? That this dog might actually be back? So the being just in a different body? One of the things that Gary also says is that animals will always choose the same body type over and over. So a dog will be a dog, will be a dog, will be a dog. And that to me was also something that I thought was really interesting because I didn't believe that in the beginning. I was like, oh, no, no, we all evolve, we go through different phases, and, we pick different body types. Well, it's not quite like that. A dog actually desires to be a dog again. And so he will choose another dog body. It may not look like this one, it may be a different size, it may be a different type, but he will choose a body as a dog again if he chooses to come back. So, but so basically, what he was saying earlier, so he was giving me the energy of is so, we as people, we make all this so super, super significant instead of it just really being like a swapping of the bodies. Okay, cool. So, hey, you want to swap your body? Is this body done? Like that sort of thing. And then make that so much easier for everybody involved. But in this reality, we have placed so much significance on death and dying. And I think that is why he wanted to talk about this today, to kind of get a little bit out of that significance, and not to make this less, but really to give it a different perspective. Because if we all had a different way to deal with this that was more ease filled, then would we be able to let go of animals that have we've been holding on to forever because we are so worried that we will never see them again? Or I know people that are actually that have decided never to have an animal again because they don't want to go through this, where they are basically saying, well, I don't want to go through this part where my animal is dying. It was too hard. So I won't choose another animal in my life. Well, what about the ones that actually want to be around you and they want to hang with you? You're really denying them that possibility. And also how much more are you with an animal contributing to you? But so, okay, let's go back to him. I just wanted to give you a little bit more information around all of that. But so Charlie, what else about death? So basically, he is saying that a lot of people have taken the choice away from their animals when it comes to death, because he says, like, we're trying so hard to really be congruent with your energy, and we were trying so hard to really be there for you as people. And so what he's saying is that when we are doing that, we're taking away the choice, and the animal now is trying to fulfill whatever it is that we want. But this is also the part, please don't go into, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong here. If I am sad, if my animal is in the process of dying or they're getting old and I'm preparing myself for this is not to make you wrong. This is not to say, well, you're wrong. No, this is to give you an awareness that there's a different possibility here. What if you didn't have to be so sad? And I know you might go, well, but I am sad. Yes, I get it, because you do miss this body. You will miss this body. You won't be able to touch this body. But what if you actually started to practice now to connect to the being? Because the being will be there always. And you can always choose to connect to that. And you can always have fun with that. And you can even ask, hey, will you choose another body? Will you come back to me again? And there might be a yes, and there might be a no, and there might be a little time in between. My cat Paul was my cat Bubba, and she had died, I think, 10 years prior to me having Paul in my life. So time is really not relevant in all of this. And to be honest, I wasn't actually willing to have a cat prior to that. So the timing was actually perfect. So, so he's saying, in the process of all of this, like with death, the thing that most people do is they check out. They disappear. They don't want to be present, and they just want to not know what's going on and all that. But he says, stay present. That's the hardest for us, I think. Is to stay present, and that's where we freak out so quickly too. Like if our dog is getting older and we know he is maybe dying soon, and we go into like, oh God, when is the right time? Should I put him down? Should I let him die at home? What do I have to do? Like, I don't want him to suffer. And Charlie says, stop it. The whole suffering part, okay? Please, you guys, please ask your animal, are you suffering? Because an animal sees that in a totally different way than we do. What we call suffering to an animal may be nothing. And I always want to remind you to, if you're having a bad day, like you're sick or something is up for you, um, sometimes you really feel like, oh God, I just want to die. Well, that doesn't mean that someone should run out and euthanize you because you're just feeling really crappy that day. That just means you're having a bad day and it's just not super easy in your body. But does that mean that you're suffering? And that's where we have to ask our animals, hey, are you suffering? Are you suffering? Is this body creating suffering in you? And you will know because your animal will let you know when they're ready to go. And then don't worry about the timing. Don't worry about if you miss the exact moment. There is no exact moment. As long as you stay present, as long as you are willing to be there with them, you will know because they will let you know and nobody else. Please don't let anyone else tell you about this. Don't have other people give you their opinion and listen to that unless you know it's correct. So, what else, Charles? Hmm. Don't have words for that. Can you give it to me in a different way, please? Um, so it's something about us recognizing how much really truly our animals are willing to contribute to us all the time. And us really receiving from them. I think we have decided that we always have to contribute to them, like we have to be there for them. We have decided that it's our responsibility and we have to take care of them and we feed them and we do all this stuff, which is true. But at the same time, how much are you willing to receive from your animal? Are you actually willing to receive? And what if you opened that door and what if you push down your barriers and push them down even more and you were willing to truly receive? Would that change? And Berenice, you're asking, am I saying that animals are infinite beings just like us? Charlie? Now he's out of the frame. So Charlie, are you an infinite being? Yes. That is what I'm saying. So basically, animals are infinite beings with bodies, but they are animal beings. So they're different beings, but also a being and a body. So it's the same idea, same concept, just different. And Charlie, somebody says that you have a very lovely, sweet face. Thank you, Tracy. Um, so let's see. Is there anything else you want to talk about with death? Oh, he says, that's funny. I'm sorry. He says, don't wait for it. How often do you try to prepare yourself for your animal dying and you're literally waiting for them to die? It's like, this weird energy that we have when we do that, where we're waiting for them to die. And what are you waiting for, really? So what is all of that, and I honestly, I have to say, like, I've been around a few of my pets dying now, and one thing that has really really helped me, and thank goodness for the access tools, one thing that has really really helped me is to to really plan some fun things with them, when they're getting older, where I really feel like we have done everything that we could have been doing together. And I really don't have anything that I am quote unquote regretting. So I'm not holding on to anything. I'm not saying, oh, I wish we had done this in our lives, or I wish we had, blah, blah, blah. I make sure that all that is basically that I am doing that now. And I'm not waiting for his last day to show him how much I adore him or to receive from him. Because this is one thing, truly, the animals really thrive on us receiving from them. That is really, really, really important to them if we let ourselves receive. So, okay, we're not waiting. All right. No waiting to die. Okay, cool. What else? Is there anything else, Charlie? And he's saying again the significance. So please, whatever you can do to get over the significance of death and dying with your animal, and just really allow yourself to receive and not go into the significance. Because, I mean, for the last few years, for example, he's gotten lots of warts and he's gotten like, gray hairs, and it's harder for him to move. If I went into the significance of all of that and really made that a big deal and really went into like, oh my gosh, that means, that means, that means, he might be dead by now with all those projections. So you really, really, really would what you need to do is you need to stop projecting at your animal. It doesn't mean anything. Like, I ask his body, so are these words a problem? Yes, no, no. Okay. Is you moving slower a problem for you? He doesn't like that so well, but is it actually a problem? No. Have I adjusted to that a bit? Yes, I made him steps to come up on the bed. Um, and he's using them. So, there are certain things that can make his life easier, but I'm not making that significant. I'm not going into this means. So if you catch yourself going into this means, this means, this means, then please stop. Because it's important for you to really recognize that, hey, just enjoy every day. Enjoy the presence. That's what these guys are for too. They are always present. So allow them to show you how to be present. Okay. And then Arena is having a question here, but I can't see it. Let me see if I can change that real quick. Um, oh, hi, Charlie and Susie. Thank you. Hi, Arena. Okay. Any last words here, Charlie? Or anything else that you would like to say about this topic that you picked last night? By the way, when he picked it last night, I was running a body process on him, and I was asking him, so what do you want to talk about tomorrow at the Facebook Live? And he said death. And I said, really? What a cheerful topic. But this is again, we have these projections and expectations, and we have these judgments about death. And so it's not a cheerful topic. But at the same time, what if it could become a topic that is no longer whispered about, that is no longer put aside as this horrible, horrible, horrible thing, but really as a part of living and as a just another phase, or however you can look at this in a different way. What would it really take for us to get a different point of view about this? And really be at peace and space with it, because the animals are. The animals don't have drama over dying. Sometimes, of course, their bodies might fight the process of dying or whatever it might be, but I'm sorry. But in general, they don't have a point of view. It's really not about this is horrible and I need to avoid it at all costs. Not from that emotional point of view, okay? The body likes to live. So, yes, it will try to survive if it can, like in a situation. So, it's not about that, but there is no point of view about dying either. And I think this is the part that we can really, really pick up so much from these animals in terms of how they handle that and how they see that. Anything else? Well, he again is just kind of giving me that energy of like, just keep moving in your with your energy. Like, I think a lot of times what we do is when our animals die, we stop in our tracks energetically. We just everything halts, and we hold on to something, or we try to hold on to something, and we stop. And what he is saying is keep moving. um Basically, don't get stuck in that energy, don't get stuck there and hold on to that forever and ever, but really allow yourself to move forward, no matter what, with your animal. Cool. Anything else? I think that might have been it for today. I want to thank all of you so, so much for watching. Really, really grateful, and for staying present here with me and letting me talk about this, and um, let us talk about this really. And um, yeah, what else is possible? Huh, Charles? Are you done now? Okay, apparently it's time to leave. Okay. Again, thank you all so, so, so much. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.